Good morning, students. It's Sunday, the 11th of January, and we're in our second week of class. And it's going very quickly, as you know. I have posted chapters 3 and 4. I think today I'm going to post chapters 5 and 6, and hopefully you will have your textbooks this week. I think it's just taken a long time for this book because there's so many classes that are using it. It's a very popular book. Like I said, it's been through 8 editions, and I used the first edition 10 years ago when I designed this course. I have sent you a revised course schedule, and in that course schedule, I have stated that you may work as teams, groups of 2. And of course, we have Karina and her sister who are working together, and then Dave and Gwen, and then Lauren and I think Susie said she wanted to work together. So if you have some of your people that you've worked with very successfully in the past and you want to work with them again, for all the assignments except for the one on the resume, of course that one would be individual, because you're doing your own personal resume. And then I did make the change that we will be online week 3, week 5, and week 8. And it will, I'm a little concerned about GoToMeeting. There were a couple people that couldn't get on, and I'm going to maybe try to problem solve with them. And maybe I can go back to Adobe Connect, the famous Mac lady, with all of their tech gurus. I spend so much time. So now this week, I want you to respond to 2 of your colleagues. I think I misstated that. So in your discussion board, you have 1 post on the topic and then 2 responses to your colleagues. And that's how it normally is. And so you're going to be looking at recruitment techniques and selection processes that are lawful, okay? And this takes place in chapters 3 and 4 this week. And you're going to be doing this 3 to 5 page paper comparing and contrasting the recruitment and selection process used for classified and certificated employees in a school district. And oftentimes, they'll use the newspaper ads to recruit. Other times they'll use professional journals and newsletters. So, and then there's a web site to go online to look for jobs as well. So it just depends on what you're looking for in a school district. So make sure that you have done this in APA format, and any references you use are included, and that you have a title page. Okay, that's the norm. Okay, and if it's over 6 pages or more, then you need an abstract. Okay, because then it becomes very long, and so you need to have a summary of the paper. Okay. There's also some work to be done watching the TED Talks. What makes us feel good about our work? And I think we judge our jobs by how we feel about what we do. And if things are going well, we're very positive. But if things are not going well, we're much less positive, okay? And another one, an important topic in this TED Talk, is measuring what makes life worthwhile. If you have a great deal of anxiety about your job and your stomach is churning and you don't feel well when you go, maybe it's time to look for another school district. I've been in situations like that, and it certainly, the first thing I wanted to do was get out, and find something that I really enjoyed. But most of the jobs I've enjoyed. There's been no question. So that's the big change, that you can do these in a group project. And then the other part, remember that in week 4, you're going to take that model that you already designed in the symposium and for effective evaluation for school personnel. And So if you have someone that is in a common grade, or you have common ideas, or same school, something like that, so that you have a starting point to begin that project in week 4. Then week 5, we're online. There's no big assignment due. I thought you might like that. Week 6 is the action plan for for having a successful, culturally diverse school climate. And school climate and school culture are very similar. And I know that you've read the Anthony Muhammad book, or you've listened to him at the symposia. And school culture is the single most important factor for people in their job happiness scale. And when you have a negative school culture, of course, that can turn everything upside down. People are fighting, bickering, and the very last thing you want to have happen is people that are unhappy in a school, because that just spreads. It's like wildfire. All right, in week 7 then, we're doing the progressive discipline for employees. No synchronous session. Remember, I said that was very important to remember. And then in week 8 is where the collaborative PowerPoint or Prezi on ideal evaluation procedures. Okay, remember that you're going to be looking at your own resume, but I think you could collaborate on this part where you're looking at what would be an ideal evaluation process. And hopefully ideal will mean that everyone is involved, that it's a 3-way partnership, and that you've got the personnel that is being evaluated with the supervisor, and if the principal is not the supervisor, then another person from the administrative team will be in on it. So this should be an idea of how people improve. And I think that is the main thing that I want to say about this course. It's not about finding out what's wrong with people. It's finding out what's great about people. And I think I mentioned to you that I had my little triplicate forms that I carried around with me as I went from classroom to classroom in my informal evaluations. And teachers loved that I left them a little note about, hey, I love this interaction with your students, and it was fantastic, and please share this at our next meeting. I want to hear more about how you plan that. And sometimes I'll talk about, that I was so impressed that the student interaction or something like that, so that the teachers could go and put this in their folder and remember it as such a positive. And I tried to focus on the positive most of the time. If there was a case where the negative was very egregious, believe me, I took hold of that problem with both hands and tackled it, because you cannot let an egregious situation go on. If somebody is not supporting students and is doing harm to students, physically or verbally abusing them, you must step in. You know, I hated it when I had to do that, but you know what? That was my job. And people respected me because I did do it. And I tried to do it in a way in which I didn't ridicule them, but I put together an improvement plan. By such and such date, this improvement plan would go into effect, and each step, the dates and what was expected. And then we would have regular meetings. And a lot of the times, people would improve, but there were several times when they didn't. And I let them go. I did not re-elect them. I don't know if they ever got jobs. I don't think they did, because some of the things that they did were injurious to students' welfare. You know, grabbing students, shaking them, you know, things like that. So we need to make sure that we put together an improvement plan that's going to work for our teachers and our staff and people that we're working with. And you can start by even visiting teachers in your school and seeing how they do things, and talk to your principal. You can get in your administrative hours by doing that. So I'm looking forward to our class, and I'm going to continue my phone calls today. I did about half of them yesterday. I had my grandson and his girlfriend here, so kind of broke up my day a little bit. I wish you God's blessings again on your work in the schools. I'm so impressed by each and every one of you. Have a great week.